So this is just a follow-up video of the last one. What we were doing in the last one is just welding up the cracks in the exhaust manifold. And after that then we're just going to start making the airbox. So it's all cooled down overnight. Yeah, just cleaned it up a little bit. There was a couple of shitty bits at the end, so just ground them down. But yeah, that's the final result then. Hang on. Let's see. Just put a bit of paint on it. See, that's the weld down that end. And over the top. Can't see it very well. There's no crack anymore anyway, so happy days. Save me a couple of bucks for a minute. We'll just patch it up. I think it's going to go again anyway. This cast is really thin. There's like thin spots all over it, so I think that's why it's cracking. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's a cheap pattern part. That's all. There it is. Oh, and there's a front diff as well. Which I've got to tidy up a little bit and then chuck in mine. The front diff on mine is gone. It's whitening. So one thing after the next, but yeah, I'm going to chuck the manifold back on. We'll chuck it back on now and worry about the next bit. I think I'm going to make the airbox now. So on the M57s anyway, the X5, I don't know about the rest. The airbox is actually moulded into the rocker cover. So I'm going to cut that away and then make another box because there's no sort of inlet and it's not a sealed airbox. So I'm gonna seal it all up and make a new box and then have it sealed up, and then I can run my snorkel intake straight into the side of it then, which is down there. That's the old pipe. It's only like, I think it's like 2.5 inch intake anyway, so that should be plenty for it. And yeah, that's about it for now. So waiting the injector results and then chuck this back on, make an airbox. Maybe we'll get to that one then. This is the cover, rocker cover. So taking the PCV out. This is it upside down at the moment. I'm going to cut along there. I'm getting rid of this airbox that's air set that. So that's what we got. This is the PCV breather set up. So that goes on like that. Let's get some light on it. So that normally sits there like that. Got this. Sits in there. And it breathes, comes up through that one, goes through the vent or filter or whatever it is, and then comes back in and goes through here and comes out there, and that's what goes into the intake. That's what causes the vacuum, it sucks it in then. So what we're going to do is, because there's a bit of oil in it, I think due to this being blocked, I'm going to blank off this one and put a fitting in the top of it, and then go to a catch can then, which then goes back to your intake. So just putting a catch can instead of that breather, instead different filter, same thing, but it catches the oil in rather than it going in your intake. So we'll give that a go, and then we've got to cut this off. That's a mission. So I'm going to take the air mass sensor out, and then God knows when I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to go now. It's going to be a nightmare because it's all part of your actual cover, so we need to keep half of it. I think cutting along sort of that sort of line there. Anyway, let's see how we go. So I thought I'd do a bit of a time lapse here just to speed it up a little bit.
Just to mention, a grinder's not the best tool for the job. It flicks plastic everywhere. And just be careful when you cut in around those bottom seals over the rocker seal. You don't want to nip them or mess up the plastic around them, because the last thing you want is an oil leak.
So that was a bit rough, wasn't it? Yeah, there's a million and one ways to cut a bit of plastic, but I had the cutting disc out on the grinder. Flicks plastic everywhere, shit, so maybe use a saw next time or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's the sort of shape we got without the airbox. Kind of made a couple of factory sort of looking lines on it. I've tidied it all up and file all the edges now, get all the rough shit off, and it's really close underneath. The sealing surface is way away from it, so see the bits of melted plastic there. That's not going to make any difference once you clean it up. Just melts, it does with a grinder. So that's it. So this one, that one there, look, goes straight out to where that vent was on that pipe that I showed you earlier. It is that pipe there, goes straight through. Obviously then we're going to blank it off, so that won't make a difference. That doesn't go to your engine at all. So that's just out to, there's a vent out which will do nothing. And then this one here is your main vent out, and we're just going to have a plate over it and a vent out to catch cannon. And the other side will go to your intake manifold. Your intake pipe, which goes onto your turbo. So, yeah. Right, smooth that off a little bit. Apart from that corner there, that looks a little bit rough, doesn't it? Apart from that one, that's the finished result of the cover. And exhaust is all dry, just sprayed it with a bit of paint. It was in fire and went rusty. Can't really see it. Anyway, that's that. So, get some new gaskets for the rocker cover. Clean it all out properly, and I can fit that back on then. And we can keep an eye on that exhaust without taking the rocker cover off every time as well. Nice. So we got is the manifold fitted like a new one. But to be fair, it all went on square again. I don't know if it's going to last, like I said, so we'll see. I'm going to grind the welds down a little bit there, just to get the bolt on. They're not done, sorry. But yeah, it's better than it was. It was better than with a big crack in it. We'll set up the side of the head lock. So I'll give that a wash down later on, but once I got all the covers on and stuff. Yeah, back to doing the airbox now. Just basically gonna make, it seems stupid, but I'm gonna make pretty much exactly the same airbox that was in it, apart from it's gonna be totally sealed. It's gonna be along here, going down there. I'll use the same filter, probably get a K&N filter for it, a decent flow one, and then just bolt it where the other one was. Then at least it's all sealed in. There you go.
So that's the exhaust manifold done. The old airbox cut off. On the next video, I think I got some bits of starting to make the new airbox and maybe the PCV breather plate. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one.